Go like this. What is up, everybody? My name is Tom. If you're new here, I am so glad you're here. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would appreciate the love. You can also like this post. This isn't a post. This isn't a blog. You can also like this video. And what else can you do? You can also hit the little bell. That's pleasing to the eye. And if you're watching this on Facebook, go watch it on YouTube. Get off Facebook. No, I love Facebook. Facebook is great. I love Facebook. Facebook is great. So I'm changing things up. I do have a studio room here at my new apartment, and I've been using it for a lot of my Your Other Brothers content that I do. But I kind of felt like for my channel and for my life, my bedroom felt maybe a little more appropriate. It has a lot more of my personality in it. Hopefully you can see. What you can't see is the rest of my desk, where it looks so nice on this side, right? But the rest of the desk is literally a pile of papers, cords, coins, packages, and Christmas cards. Delightful. I thought this would be a fitting backdrop and a fitting setting for talking about things that are deeply personal to me. When I set out to be more consistent with my videos, one of the things that immediately came to mind to talk about was what I'm going to be talking about today. And that is the topic, the issue. I was going to say the issue. It's not an issue, it's a topic. And that topic is shirtlessness. The issue of shirtlessness sounds hilarious. Like this is a chronic issue. I either can't stop being shirtless or can never be shirtless. I mean, in many ways though, I kind of make jokes of it, but for years and years and years, and even today, I mean, I'm 32, about to be 33 soon, the topic of shirtlessness, it causes me pause, it causes me anxiety. And this goes back 20, 25 years. I recently posted an Instagram photo. If you don't follow me on Instagram, please do, at ThomasMarksD. But I recently posted this Instagram photo, and I had all the photos edited. I had them loaded up. I had my caption written. All those logistics were in place, and I had it on my phone, ready to go. And all I had to do was hit publish or post or whatever that button is. And I literally stared at it for 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes. I think, no joke, I think at least 3 minutes went by staring at it, making sure everything was actually correct, making sure everything, using it as an excuse to make sure the grammar was okay in the caption, making sure, like, yes, that's the right order in the pictures, the right order of the pictures that I want them to come in. But really though, it was stalling and it was insecurity. Because going back 20, 25 years, I've been so insecure about my body. And the reason I was posting this collection of shirtless pictures, maybe you're asking yourself, why? And the reason is because I told myself a year ago when I joined CrossFit that a year later I would document my progress. And going back a year, I actually posted a set of shirtless pictures before my very first CrossFit, I was gonna say practice, what do you even call them? Classes? I've been going for a year and I don't even know what the terminology is. For my very first CrossFit class, I took these pictures at my old apartment. But I told myself a year later I'd want to document the progress and see how far I've come. Like I have no anxiety being shirtless by myself or anything, but it's one thing to take pictures of yourself, it's another thing to post them for the world to see. And so that was something that I really wrestled with as I held my phone and just like stared at it. I was like, gosh, once I hit that button, there's no going back and I'm exposed. Like I said, I've been insecure about my body going back to childhood. I remember being a kid and there was one specific time I remember going in the pool with my shirt on. And I know I had gone swimming without a shirt plenty of times before, but for whatever reason, this particular time, I wasn't feeling it. I didn't want to take my shirt off. I felt ashamed. And so I swam with my shirt on in our family backyard pool. I had acne on the face, a little bit of acne, not too bad. I was blessed and I had a lot going on my chest, but a little bit here and there. But I was just super wiry, super pale. Because I never took my shirt off, my skin was just always translucent because I never saw the sun. Throughout my teenage years, on into my 20s, this is the way it was. I'm gonna fast forward a lot now to the year 2012 when I was a camp counselor. Do y'all hear that dog barking? That is so annoying. I love dogs. Just not that one. You know, this video is about shirtlessness. I have a slew of other just masculine insecurities. I mean, this is just the tip of the bucket. For whatever reason, I felt called, I felt led, prompted to apply to work at this summer camp, and I did. And I get there, and it's literally day one. It is humid, it is hot, and day 1 to day 60, everybody's shirtless practically all the time. And I was in crisis the first couple weeks because the normal thing to do, what everyone was doing, was walking around shirtless, running around shirtless. And I wanted no part of that. I wanted no part of exposing myself to my fellow man. Because again, even as a 25-year-old, so insecure, so deeply, deeply shameful about my body. And I don't even have, like, I can look back on pictures like coming out of like a mushroom cloud of messy games where it's like we're throwing ketchup and mustard and relish. I'm only naming like hot dog condiments. Flour, honey, syrup, like it was disgusting. We were on this big field and just hurling all these foodstuffs at each other. But like I look at my picture of 2012 Tom and like I see a fit-ish body. Like I didn't have much muscle mass, but I wasn't overweight. I wasn't like super skinny. And yet we never like want to look at what the mirror says. We always have this other like layer to how we think we look beneath whatever our eyes can see. And that's what I see happening here, because looking back now, I can be like, okay, there's really nothing, like he actually looks pretty good without that sounding weird. I was like, yeah, that guy looks pretty normal. Like not a super muscle man, but not a pale, wiry, like loser either. Just kind of normal. But I didn't feel that at the time. And I certainly don't feel that now. I think a lot of the reason I was holding that pause button was that feeling of, it's not good enough though. Like to have been going to CrossFit for a year, I should be bigger. I should be more ripped. I should certainly feel more confident, which I do not. So like, what's the deal? Why the disconnect? I had a friend tell me, like, if you do nothing else during the day, wake up in the morning and the first thing you do before you do anything, before you pee, hit the floor, do 50 push-ups. And if nothing else, if you accomplish nothing else that day, you can know that as soon as you woke up, you did 50 push-ups. And just from a mental standpoint, that's something I've stuck to pretty consistently. You know, I'm not gonna say I've done it every single day for the last eight or 9 years. But I don't know, like 5 days out of 7 maybe. I think that's fairly accurate. Leading up to the year of CrossFit, I noticed significant progress with my arms and just having more muscle mass with my biceps and my triceps just from doing these 50 push-ups every morning for 7-8 years. And for the longest time, that was a big reason why I never wanted to take my shirt off, because I was insecure about everything. Everything from here up. So that's the belly, that's the chest, that's the shoulders, and that's the arms. So what I noticed after a couple years of doing all these push-ups was that my arms started to get noticeably cut. Is that the right word? Cut, rounded, muscly, for lack of a better word. I discovered that the tank top was kind of this like first foray into shirtlessness. Like if I still was super deeply insecure about being shirtless, at the very least, I could wear a tank top and start to like dip my toes in those waters of just like being more confident in my body and not feeling like I have to wear a snuggie. And I noticed with my, more developed arms that I just felt incredibly confident. Versus if you would have told me that I'd be wearing tank tops as a 14-year-old, like that would have been absolutely terrifying. Just akin to being completely, as if I were completely shirtless. In fact, I remember cross-country meets, I would wear an undershirt underneath the cross-country jersey. So I had these little white flappy sleeves sticking out. We went to the state cross-country meets. All of your team's runners had to be the same, wearing the same uniform, the same style. So it's either like everyone wears undershirts or nobody wears undershirts. And so I remember specifically at those meets, I couldn't I couldn't wear my trusty undershirt, and I felt so naked and so exposed. But anyway, going into my 20s, I started to wear tank tops and felt just super confident doing that. But still, the thought of just being shirtless in public was hard. And I remember a post I did on Instagram actually a few years ago. I was in Missouri with a good friend, and we went to this like really cool watering hole. There was like all these rocks and some like low cliffs, and water just kind of dispersed throughout, people everywhere. But I went with him and was shirtless, swimming and stuff. But there are these really cool rock formations, and like him, I'm all about the Insta, I'm all about the epic shots and capturing the moment. And I just let him take some pictures of me because there's this cool little watering hole with this rocky background. And I let him take all those pictures, and I wasn't sure what would happen, honestly. I wasn't sure if I would post them because for all the reasons of being exposed as a 12, 13-year-old, still felt it. I have all these like, I'm a classic overthinker. I overthink everything. Attempt to see everything from every scenario and from every vantage point. And on the one hand, part of me wants to be like, yeah, just post this shirtless photo. It's an epic backdrop. Or yeah, CrossFit, you've been doing it for a year. You deserve to put yourself out there and show people your progress. There's nothing weird. There's nothing like inappropriate about that. And then I see it from the other side, and I see people who might interpret that as prideful or as weird or worst case scenario as, wow, he thinks he's like all that and he's sorely mistaken. Like he is a loser. He's not nearly as in shape as he thinks he is. He doesn't pass the test, whatever that test is. And that same trip that I was in Missouri, and I was swimming around with all these amazing rock formations and cliffs, that same dear friend, he talked about like growth, and he talked about doing things that scare you, like being really intentional about doing something scary to conquer that fear, because that's where growth happens. And it's fitting, the reason why I wanted to film this video in my bedroom is because I have this banner, which I'm hoping to actually iron soon because it's a tad wrinkly still from the packaging. But it says seek discomfort. It's from the guys at Yes Theory, one of my favorite YouTube channels and movements. I'm all about what they're doing, which is all about risk taking. It includes a lot of travel, it includes a lot of adventure, but at the heart of what they're doing, it's personal growth. It's stepping out of your comfort zone. It's talking to strangers. It's jumping off cliffs, literal or metaphoric. And for me, something that may not be a cliff for 99% of men watching or men out there, it's taking off my shirt. It's presenting myself physically vulnerable to a world, despite all of the insecurities and the raging voices inside me that say I'm not good enough, I'm not man enough. And it's not to say that like my Instagram is suddenly going to become Shirtless Palooza. Like when you look at my Instagram, the vast majority of them are me fully clothed. But I'm learning to be intentional too about if the moment is there, if I'm shirtless in a beautiful situation, to take a picture of it, to press through the anxiety of what people would think, what they would assume of me. And so for a lot of people, maybe that doesn't come hard, or maybe it does. Maybe it's harder for more people than I realize. And maybe I'll learn something from the comments. If you comment below, like this is an invitation to comment below. This is a struggle you have. This is an insecurity you have about your body. Because one thing I wanted to circle back to with CrossFit is that like I gained a ton of confidence with my arms from doing all those push-ups, but I felt super deeply insecure still about my chest and my shoulders primarily, and not man enough, whether that's legitimate or not. Nonetheless, for a healthy body image, I just wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be fitter. So I signed up for CrossFit a year ago, and a huge shout out to CrossFit because it's an amazing thing to work in community, to have like one-on-one support from coaches, and to have that team feeling that you're all in this together. It's such a contrast from my one semester of weight training when I was in high school. And there were literally times I had no idea how to do the right movement. How to do a power clean. My hands were going in all the wrong directions, and there was kids laughing at me from the corner. Like I could see it out of the corner of my eye. And so yeah, just like to have a safe place to to fail, to mess up, to be corrected, and then to learn and to grow and to become stronger has been huge for me. And particularly now, with my body, I still wrestle with insecurity all over the place. But when it comes to my arms, when it comes to my chest, when it comes to my shoulders, the anxieties and the insecurities that used to be way up here have dramatically lowered, and I'm so grateful. And I want to continue to press into the discomfort, the literal discomfort of tearing your muscles down so that you can make them stronger, but then also the mental and the emotional discomfort of presenting this body, not just on an Instagram post, not just on a video. In life, like, I want to be a bolder, more confident man. And starting with this whole shirtless thing, it's such a building block to all the other insecurities that I also want to work on. And maybe as this journey grows with this YouTube channel, I'll share more of those. I've already done a leg hair insecurity video, and I look forward to tackling more, not just bodily insecurities, but personality insecurities as well. There's lots to the insecurity well, as I said at the beginning of this video. So my hope is that in sharing my story, it's not to put a spotlight on me, but to hopefully give an outlet for you, whoever you are watching. The tagline of my channel is Thomas Mark Zuniga: faith, masculinity, travel. So these are all topics that I'll be talking about as this YouTube journey progresses. So stay tuned for the light and airy, the deep and heavy, and everything in between. Thanks again for watching. Love you guys. Thank you for being such a support to me. And as always, in closing,